Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me if you're in on the live or if you're going to watch later. This is Burn the Wagon. I'm on Hands from the Hopland band of Pomo Indians on with me today. So hopefully he should be joining me soon. So yeah. If you're this is the first time you're listening or joining in, this is Burn the Wagon, where people of color have a place to amplify their voices. So thank you very much for joining. What's up, Ernsta? So yeah, we're going to have Hands on today from Hopland, California. He has his own CBD oil infused with lotion business, or oil infused with lotion, whatever business. So yeah, so hopefully he'll be on soon to talk about that. So let's get him invited. So we're going to discuss a couple different things. Okay, he wasn't able to join. Why was that? We're going to discuss a couple of different things. His reasoning behind starting up his business, where he's from, the tribes he's repping, a couple of different things. So hopefully he'll be able to join me soon. Let's invite your other account then. See if that works. And we're going to discuss the Line 3 pipeline that's going on recently in Minnesota. It's a 300-mile pipeline going from Alberta, Canada to Minnesota. And it's going through like a lot of land, a lot of different stuff. Hey, what's up? Are you able to join? Let's invite it. So yeah, there we go. So if you see, oh, there we go. All right, cool. You're in here.
What's good, family?
Yo, what's up, man? Thank you for joining me today.
On Giant Town, my bad.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. Hey, honestly, that was what I was gonna call this little series, and in the beginning, but I switched it up to Burn the Wagon.
Ah, hell yeah,
all right,
bro! It's a pleasure. What's your name again?
Juan.
Juan, like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Hands, man. Nice to finally be able to meet you.
I know, seriously, man. Thank you for coming on with me today. So, first of all, I want to start off with I want to say two names: Khadijah Britton and Nicole Smith. Yeah. So those are two missing, murdered Indigenous women in our area, in the Mendocino County area, that have been murdered or missing, and they need a name or a platform to say their names. So I definitely want to start off with saying their names first. And if you want to, there's a donation going on right now for Khadijah's family to help them find funds and stuff going on too. So if you want to tap in with me, I can give you information about that. But I'm gonna start doing that as well on this show, where I shout out two missing, murdered Indigenous women. So if you know, definitely shout out some too.
Yeah, definitely. I want to try to put together something so that we can donate some funds, whether it's a T-shirt and whatnot, allowing people from all areas to be able to contribute as well. So maybe we can get together, collab on something, and then allow a lot of the proceeds to go towards that family. Because, we definitely need to build awareness. So I salute you for using your platform on that as well. These names, they're not brought up enough, and a lot of these issues aren't brought up enough as well either. And so to combat that, we need to come together, rise up as natives, and use all the resources and platforms that we have. So most definitely for those people and for everybody else affected for that as well. Each and every one of the families, condolences and prayers and everything go out your way. We're going to be praying for you guys and everybody else.
Oh, and thank you for joining me. So we'll start off with saying where you're from and the tribes you're repping and the hometown you're repping, and we'll go from there.
Most definitely. So my name's Handz from the Hopland Band of Pomo Indians, also from the Dry Creek Band of Pomo Indians, and I also got Karuk in me up from up north. And so I haven't really got the pleasure to meet too many of my family up that way, but my grandma on my mom's side, that's where her people from. So it goes right to the roots of me. Right now, so I grew up in Hopland mostly all my life. Moved to Ukiah a little bit, and I recently just moved back down to Santa Rosa, where I was initially born. And so, being able to move around in just those small little areas, got to meet some good people, good family, and now being able to come down with the creativity down here to Sonoma County, just trying to connect all the bridges, man. Being able to link with some good individuals, people that stand for things, and want to see the community move to bigger and better things. Just wanted to be able to connect those dots. And so now I'm down here in Santa Rosa tearing it up. In the background right here, Complex Minorities. This is my first company right here I started. This was a clothing brand.
Okay.
Was able to take this down to Oakland and San Francisco and do fashion shows. And now that I have this, the new one, Indigenous Infusions, which is a CBD company, I want to be able to put together a fashion show for that and have all native models. So that's something in the works. Maybe if you'd like to be a part of that as well, love to have you on board, my brother.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we just continue pushing this creativity, building awareness in the communities, and being able to stand as natives united. You know, a lot of us, I see a lot of diversity within our communities, whether it's, you know, certain reservations and people having different, you know, issues. As natives, we have a lot of issues towards other natives as well too. So I want to see more unity, and I think it starts within us being able to have these little conversations and bringing stuff like this up. So yeah, going back to linking the bridges within everybody, all of our people, you know, united. When we stand united, man, there's power in that. There's power in the unity, and especially within Native Americans, because we're resilient, we're strong individuals, you know, and our ancestors, they came through so much. And so when I see a lot of my Native brothers struggling in different areas that I might have struggled at one point in, I try to encourage them and lift them up by pointing to where our ancestors came from. All the harsh turmoil and everything that we've been through as Native people, for us to be able to survive through that, man, there's damn well we could survive through this fentanyl stuff, this drug addict stuff, this alcohol stuff, all of these different issues that we have within our communities. If our ancestors could have beat almost genocide, like they literally almost wiped us out, but nah, we're too strong. We got a purpose, you know, and if our people can come through that, all these little issues that we got going on, we definitely can go through that. You know, and so just being able to provide that encouragement to our people, you know, that's what I love. That's what I love and stand for, you know, being able to lift up our communities, all while being able to have the creativity that I have. I'm very entrepreneurial, so I have different lanes and different things. But within all of those, I find people that have their talents as well, and I try to mesh it all together. You know, so that's what I like to do. I like to be that glue for our community. If you have a certain talent, ability, let's get that rocking. Let's get you on the platform. Let's get you built your own audience and whatnot, because we need to highlight more of that. I want to see more Native artists, more Native actors, just more Native creatives all together, because that's what we're going to change the narrative, is when our people rise above these levels and break the cycle.
And you mentioned Native actors, and I kind of want to get into, I know we had a first topic was your infusion business, but since you talk about Native actors, have you seen Reservation Dogs, and do you think it's a good representation for natives and who natives actually are?
Yeah, so I seen it. It's pretty humorous. I like it. I would start out by saying they're Oklahoma natives. So right from Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
The Oklahoma natives and Cali natives, we already have a difference within that. You know, our different traditions and ceremonies, how our reservations are compared to their reservations. But at the same time, we also have a lot of similarities too. And I think the biggest thing for me is that something like that being highlighted, it's native, you know, whether it's Cali native or Oklahoma native, it's being broadcast on such a huge platform. You're going to see it whether you're white, black, Asian, indigenous, no matter what color, ethnicity you are, you're going to see that. And you're going to think, you know, let me do a little bit more research. And then you might stumble across you might stumble across me, you might stumble across another native. So I like the fact that it's being highlighted on such a huge, tremendous platform like Hulu that it is right now. I would like to see some more Cali native stuff. If I were to throw that in there, I'd like to see that. And as far as the representation, I haven't really seen too much like bad representation within it. Maybe some like, oh, that's not how we do things, or we do things a little differently. But that just goes back to the difference within the state natives. Cali natives were really unique. We're real unique. So we have different, personalities and all of that, So I wouldn't go to say like, oh no, they don't represent all of our people. But as native people, I like how the platform is running, and the fact that they have the Indian humor. We get to see that, all of that type of stuff. I love it. I want to see more of it though. I will say that I want to see more of it. I want to see independent native artists. So whether it's backed on a huge platform like Hulu, or if it's just backed by me and you, I want to see more of it. I think that there should be more native artists drawing different things like animation. We could do cartoon animation for kids. We could start doing stuff for the teens. And there's so many different areas that we could progress in. So I would just say that I like it because it is humorous. But then again, it just goes back to we should have more, because Cali natives, we're creative. We have the potential to be able to produce something like that. And who knows, maybe Netflix will pick it up. So definitely want to see more of it. How do you feel about it?
Have you ever thought about working with kids or anything?
Yeah.
Like teenagers and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. That's something I definitely want to work into. I love being able to teach people how to start businesses and start different things. Of course, I still have a lot of progress to be made in a lot of areas, but I have made some progress. And so the knowledge that I have, I would love to shed it. So that's what I'm trying to do. I want to get involved within our community, showing how easy it is to start a clothing brand. It's really not that hard. You have a little bit of creativity and less than 5 tools, you can get it up and popping. Videos, we got a phone. Our phones can produce anything. Any information that we want is readily accessible at our hands right now. So within that, like, there's really no excuses, and so I definitely feel like, that's an area I'd love to move towards.
Because everything you're just saying right now needs to be heard in a youth setting. It needs to be felt, because they see you doing these things, they hear you saying these things, and their mind's going to start going. Their imagination's going to start going. Then, like you said, those cartoons are going to start getting created. Those clothing brands are going to start getting created. The business that you have, the CBD business, that's going to start getting that all blooms from a person like you going back into your community and talking. So I think absolutely you should be doing that. You know what I mean? And I love everything that you're saying right now. You know what I mean? Because it's going to inspire somebody, hopefully. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it starts with our youth. If we want to break the cycle, of course, it's going to start with us, like, making the changes and whatnot. But to make sure that the cycle is really broke, we have to reach the youth. At one point we were all young and, went through different things, and it might have shaped our what our future was going to be like. But we don't have to accept it as just that. We don't. Every single day we have a brand new chance and opportunity to do something different, to be a little different, be better. I always think about that 1% better every single day. By the end of the year, that's 365% better. That's 3 times the amount which you would have done if you looked at it from an investing standpoint. You put in so much money, you're going to 3 times your money. Well, as a person, you're going to 3 times what your abilities are and your capabilities. And so I look at that as, we definitely gotta start within ourselves, and it's got to go towards the youth, to where they're going to be the next generation that's going to shape and mold different areas, within our communities. We got our tribal leaders and all of that, but I think we're all leaders at the end of the day, if we're leading in the right direction, and so we're all individually right leaders, and, we all got the same 24 hours in a day. So it's just a matter of how you choose to manage it and how you move, and I think we just got to move different. I love that you brought that up, just within the youth and the communities, because there's a lack of that sometimes. We, like on the res, we got our gym, and that's usually about it, for the most part. We got learning centers in our gym. Sometimes people don't even have that, but we don't have too much resources at our hands at youth. So we always we dabble in other things. We drift, get distracted, But if we could develop a good system to where our youth get financial education, be able to get creative education and different things like that, man, our future will be bright. You know, I see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, we need to inspire other things to do other things other than sports, you know, because growing up for me, that was the only thing really I would like that was really inspiring around, at least me, you know, for me, that was around me. I just believe we should inspire more things like poetry, reading, education all around, you know, educate yourself all around, in my opinion.
100%. Hey, real quick, I'm gonna cut you off just for a couple seconds. Big shout out to Tip Top Tonics Kombucha. Y'all go get that live probiotics in your body. We went from drinking Hennessy to drinking this good kombucha that's good for the body. I don't be drinking anymore, folks. Man, I'm what would it be? Since December, I quit drinking. Man, it's not good for the body, and hey, it don't mix with natives. Genetically not good for our bodies, you know. That's
good. That's good to hear. I'm a year and 9 months sober, so definitely putting a lot of probiotics in my body.
Salute, bro.
A lot of good healthy stuff. I work at a health food store, so I'll be getting that good.
Hell yeah! You know about that? Hey, you know about that CMOS?
I've taken it before. It's for my stomach. I got really bad acid reflux. So
okay.
I've taken it.
This might help out too. If you don't ever drink that kombucha, this is made by one of my good friends. He's like my brother. I call him my brother, and I help manage this company. It's called Tip Top Tonics. So I'll have to share it with you one of these days. I'll send it to you, and you'll be able to test it out. All that.
Man, you're dibbling, dabbling, and everything, man. I like to see that.
Everything, bro. Everything I can get my hands on, because I'm 25 right now. And I think about from 18 to 25, when I graduate, that's about 7 years, right? I feel like I could have been a little bit farther than where I am right now in life. But at least right now, I didn't wait 10 more years to start the process. Yeah. You know, so I do have my whole little flashback trips where I'm just like, damn, I really wasted like 7 years. You know, I didn't make any like good milestones and whatever. But when I talk to the next man, they're 30, 40 or whatever, they're like, damn, you're doing it young at a good age. You're investing in crypto. You're looking at real estate. You got your own businesses, and man, you're really doing it. And I'm like, bro, I'm just catching up, man. Like, I really feel like I should be at a lot farther down in my journey. But I also can't compare my chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 30. So that's where I got to just remind myself, you know what, even if I'm starting my chapter 1 at 25 or 20, it doesn't matter. It's as long as you build your progress. You know, you can't look at the next man's race and judge it based upon where you're running. No, it's a marathon. You continue moving every single day. So as much as I might have my hands on a lot of things, I'm really just getting started. This is really just the beginning for me, my family, and my native community as a whole. Because I feel like wherever I reach, whatever pinnacle I hit, my native people are going to be there. The reservation is going to be there. You know, I'm going to be able to lead my people in that right direction. That's why I be so like aggressive in my investing tactics. Like, I invest in cryptocurrency. I'm about to be getting into real estate. And I'm trying to change the narrative, like, all around, you know, like these businesses. Yes, this is what I got going on too. But I'm looking at the bigger picture. Like, what will this business help 5-10 years from now? What is that going to help? Hopefully it'll buy a couple rental properties. Hopefully it'll build an apartment complex, affordable housing for our people. You know, things like that. It's all about having that game plan. So I'm really just getting started, man. This is just the beginning. And that's why it's beautiful. It's a beautiful journey starting out, you know, the whole steps, every step along the way.
That's beautiful to hear, man. That's really beautiful to hear. And to hear that you're investing in real estate, are you investing in like land, or are you investing in homes?
So I want to invest in the real estate properties.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, the first one I want to get, I haven't gotten any real estate yet, but I've been doing my research, studying, and, I want to get like a duplex, because it's called house hacking. What it is you'll buy a duplex, and that duplex is going to have one mortgage. It'll have 2 houses, but 1 mortgage. You'll live in one side of the duplex. You'll rent the other side out, and the other side is going to basically pay your mortgage, and you'll live for free, being able to save your money and continue to acquire more properties. So I want to start out with the duplex, lead into like a 3 or 4-plex, and eventually get an apartment. Because that apartment complex, depending on how big it is, let's just say it's 50 to 100 apartments. That's 50 to 100 sources of income. straight out, you know,
Yeah.
and you being the landlord on that, like you're able to dictate what the price is going to be. So I want to try to create some affordable housing. I feel like that not only is that a good tax benefit, I was reading this tax book, but it's also being able to provide some homes in the areas much needed. So being able to do that, that's part of the plan right there, is investing in the rental properties. Of course, I want to own my own house to live in. But before I do that, if I get some rental properties, that'll fund my dream house that I want to live in. And then eventually they'll be for free, you know, because real estate is where 90% of the big wealth holders, they hold their wealth, you know, and we're just, a lot of these conversations, they're not brought up on the res. I didn't grow up knowing none of this. So me learning about it now, I'm like, yo, let me soak all this game up like a sponge and take this back to my community, you know, because we get money, depending on what reservation you're from. Hopland specifically, we'll get money when we turn 18. And so many times, and myself included, we don't know what to do with that money. We've never been taught how to invest, the things that we could buy. We're always quick to just buy the stuff we never had, when we should be looking at it like we have money right now to invest in the things we would never be able to invest in, like flat out Bitcoin, Ethereum, the stock market. There's so many different money builders right there. And I want to be able to soak all that up and take that to my communities. That's why I try to plant my mind in all of these different things. So real estate, crypto, different businesses, anything that's going to build generational wealth, I'm in there, you know? So that's so far, that's what I'm getting into right now.
That's what's up, man. And you mentioned a tax book. Yeah. And I'm just saying in general, in schools in general, that these things should be taught. Nobody's taught this. Like because think about it, when I got this, the stimulus check, I just was like, oh, I'm going to go get me some Jordans. I'm going to go get me some nice. I'm going to go, but I didn't think about saving it and putting it somewhere where it's going to take me somewhere. Yeah. Or not just like a car, or like just upgrade. I didn't think about that at all.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the mindset you have is that what we need to just install and just teach these things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we don't have that enough, you know, like you said, we're not taught that on the res.
No,
we're taught, yo, let's go get some Jordans. Let's go look fresh. Let's get some speakers in our ride. Let's look dope. You know what I mean?
Let's just be good.
let's look cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And coming from poverty, it's easy to have that feeling, you know, like I know what it's like. And to get that feeling like, oh man, fresh head to toe, fitted up, like, man, that's like the best feeling in the world. And then you're going somewhere, oh, for sure, man. You got gas in the whip, bro. We cruising. Yeah. Not even going nowhere. Just looking fly on the freeway, bro. Like, there's a feeling within that because we're not accustomed to those type of things. And now when you look at the average 7-figure family, they've experienced all these type of things on a day-to-day basis. So when they get some money, they're like, yo, how can I make this 100,000, 200,000? You know, so that's what I start to be thinking now is like, all right, I made a few racks, but how can I make this a few more racks? Yeah. You know, and every single day, like ever since I've been investing in crypto for over the last year now. And every single time I get a good substantial amount of money, like, of course, the first thing is gratification, which is being able to go and buy good things and fill yourself up with good self-gratification, right? But now, for me, being able to see my money multiply without me having to actually do anything, like that's how the markets move. I spend money a lot differently now. I think about it like this $100 I'm going to spend. If I spend it on this right here, it's only going to ever be worth $100. Actually, when I crack it, it might be worth 80 now. Right. But if I drop this in the crypto market, I could literally go from 100 to 1,000 in 3 months, 6 months. I've seen it happen. So it starts every single dollar now is meticulously spent. You know, I got to make sure that I'm really not just blowing a bag just to feel good, because I'm going to feel a lot better when that little bag turned into a bigger bag. That's the feeling that we haven't had much often. And the moment you start to do that, you start to think, man, this is way cool. This is way cooler than feeling cool, looking cool, because my bank account looking cool.
Yeah.
You know? And so this is new feelings we've never been accustomed to, but we're able to. We just got to try to apply the pressure. you know, and start to think outside the box, because like you said, they don't teach us this in school. And you know why? Because, you know, these millionaires and billionaires don't want to be brushing elbows with natives and Mexicans and minorities, indigenous people. They don't. They want to hold that to themselves, right? And so in the school level, of course, we blaming them because they're feeding us all this information. But by the time we turn 18 and moving forward, we really don't have anyone else to blame now but ourselves. And it's not to say like, oh, we're bad individuals because we, you know, we don't know where to look sometimes. You know, as much as we have this information in our hands, sometimes we don't know where to look, where to start out. And so it comes from sitting next to people that have been doing it actively for years, being able to get in the room with people. Like I always heard this. It's like, if you're the richest person in the room, you're standing in the wrong room. You're standing in the wrong room. So you gotta be hanging out with people that have been doing you gotta be hanging out with people that have the results that you already want to get and have been doing it for a while now, so that you know you're probably going to be led and groomed. So within that, it's like, shoot, bro, changing our mindset, we just got to try to step out the box, step out the res. You know, I always tell my folks, hey, you got to get off the res, bro. Like straight up. And it's like, when I say that, I don't mean forget the res or none of that, because there's a difference. Like you could get off the res, go get laced up with some game you would have never gotten on the res, and you could always bring that back to the res. Now, how much better will our res be? You know? So I always think about it from that standpoint as well. It's just, you know, not always on just like a selfish, like, yo, I need it, I want it. Of course I'm hungry like that. Like I want 7 to 8 figures, not even just 6. You know, I'm like, yo, I want 7 to 8, because the moment I do and I got that, we all gonna be living good. You know, we're all gonna be able to share the wealth. That's what it's about, spreading the wealth and the knowledge that comes with the wealth. You know, because of course I could give money and I could donate money, which I want to certain different areas. But how much better would it be if I could show you how to do the same exact thing that I've been doing? Now you don't just got one person with $1 million. You got 10, you got 20, you got a whole community of millionaires. I feel like it's possible, man. There's a million ways to make $1 million. You just got to find out what works best for you. And so for me, I do have my hands in a lot of things within that, because I know that at the end of the day, I'm going to be able to bring all this experience, this hands-on, no pun, hands-on experience to the communities, and lace my youngins up and let them know that it's possible, bro. It's possible to go sit with these elite folks, you know, and be able to absorb the game that they got. And we don't always got to be like those type of people, because we're always going to have our roots, but we take little pieces that we want and we add that to our category in our portfolio, you know? So within that, like, I got to, bro.
Yeah.
Everything.
And I think people have to have patience though, because you said you took $100 in whatever 3 or 6 months, it turned into 1,000, and people aren't really like realistic on that, and they don't think they have to wait. You know, we have to be patient. Things take time. You know, you're not going to just do it overnight. But yeah, we have to also let them know it takes time. We have to be patient. You know what I mean? You have to wait that 6 months to take that $100 to that $1,000. You know what I mean?
Of course. And I mean, don't get it wrong for anybody that's listening to this too. And I'm not trying to sell y'all pipe dreams and make it seem like it's all beautiful, because I'm putting in a rack, had that pull down to 400. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, yo, the markets is acting funky. But it's like, if you go in it with that expectation, like, I need to double, triple, quadruple in a short amount of time, you're going to lose. You're really going to lose more. But if you go in there with the mindset of like, hey, you know, a lot of investors, they go with like, will this company be around in the next 10 to 20 years? Because that's how long I'm going to invest for. So it's like, we're trying to get rich in a week or a month, or, you know, within 1 year, when it's really not it's possible. But if you're able to do that, are you going to be able to hold on to it? Or what's going to be the next vehicle? So it's not hard making it. It's hard keeping it and being able to continuously make that. And so anyone that's wanting to invest, definitely hit me up. I'll be willing to point you in the right direction. But just know it requires a lot of patience and self-discipline. Because the moment you see that go down from 1,000 to 500 to 400, your instinct is, I don't want it to go to 0. I'm going to pull it out. And I've seen this happen so many times. People will do that, and they'll pull it out so that they can hold on to their last 500. not knowing that that's going to go back up to now 1,500, 2 racks. And I've seen this happen so many times because of being not patient or not self-disciplined. So within that, yeah, you're 100% right. You got to have that. You got to have that, all of those qualities when you're going into these type of fields, you know, because if not, these markets will eat you up real quick. So
Absolutely.
it's being able to have that intelligence and those abilities. Yes, definitely.
All right, man. Let's get right into the indigenous infusion. So
Indigenous infusions.
how'd you start that? And then I definitely love the logo that you got going. The flicker bird.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I definitely love that. Yeah. So talk to me about that.
So, man, I've always wanted to get involved within this community for a while now, and always just trying to figure out how I can go about the right way. Try to not spend as much, you know, right out the gate, because I know that within starting any business, you're going to have a roadblock. You're going to have an obstacle. And starting something like this, you're bound to mess up somewhere. So for me, I had to find the right team that was going to be able to be around me to help me out in these areas. Some areas that I'm not as good in. So I outsource a lot of my work, and I have a very brilliant team that manufactures and puts together my products. And so through that, I'm able to outsource a lot of that, and I'm able to focus on growing the business from the inside within, you know, the logos and stuff like that. Like I want to be able to drop more t-shirts and going back onto the mmiw, like I want to use what I have now to try to create some different things that I could help be able to donate. So through these shirts, that's why I said like a collaboration. I want to put together some stuff that'll be like, all right, we're gonna strictly designate these proceeds to this family within what this shirt drop provides, you know, and that's gonna also help. That's going to allow people on the other side, you know, the customer, to be able to put their funds in these families as well. So being able to develop a platform altogether. From this, it's I put right here on the back. You can see natives on top, right?
Yep.
So I want to be able to use this as well to move into helping promote other native artists, creatives, designers, whatever it is. This is kind of going to be another offset of what I have going within indigenous infusions. It kind of goes hand in hand. And so natives on top, I created another IG for that. And I want to be able to start promoting other artists. And so basically, I'm just trying to bring the community together. And I think that CBD at the end of the day as well provides a lot of good benefits. You know, it's the healing mechanism within the cannabis plant, you know, within the hemp plant. Like this is the medicinal side of that, because of course, you know, a lot of people love getting high. I love people smoking weed and THC, and I'm not against that at all, you know, whatsoever. But there also has to be more to it, you know, and in areas that you're able to reach people that wouldn't smoke weed, right? I know a lot of people that they don't smoke THC, but they'll smoke CBD. Yeah. Or they'll take the CBD topicals, you know, lotions, salves, any edibles, stuff like that. And I've had people give some really good testimonies behind it, and elderly people, middle-aged people, and people within that are cancer patients. So I see this power behind it, right? And I was intrigued. So I did my studies on it, and I hit the ground running. Just like in everything that I do, this Complex Minorities started out as a clothing brand in my mom's basement and garage, and it led to fashion shows. So just being able to start something that's going to bring the community together, that's what I really love. Putting a smile on somebody's face and saying, yo, this really helped me out. You know, I had ankle pain, and I rubbed the salve on my ankle, and I was able to walk for hours just good, you know, good, smooth mobbins, you know. So within that, like, I see the power that it brings, and I love the healing behind it. So I definitely had to get myself and position myself within that right environment. So that's how that led to that. And I also see that it's very expensive, man. If you go to any like cannabis club or smoke shop, they be taxing. They really be taxing. So I'm trying to cut my prices down from what these bigger distributors would be. I want to provide an affordable one. You know, allow people to keep coming back and getting more rather than, oh, I can only afford, you know, this much because it's so pricey. You know, I feel like it's really not that hard to extract from the plant, and people make it seem like a process that's just out of space, you know. And so for me, within that, like, I see the power of the healing, the unity it brings within the people. But now, what else could I help create? Well, I can make it affordable too, you know. So within that, I had to try to connect the dots like I always do, and now we got this company. Within the logo, I had to represent to the fullest. I love the flicker bird, man. And when I was younger, I used to dance. I want to get back into it, but you know, I haven't been dancing lately. But so this has always been one of my favorites, one of my favorite pieces of regalia. So I had to throw it on for the logo. You know, everywhere that we'll go, whether it's in a club, a gas station, whatever, if you're native and you're Pomo specifically, you're gonna see that and you're gonna be like, damn, that's up in here.
Yeah.
Sit next to all these Masons. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like that was the vision. I'm like, yo, what's gonna really stand out? Like, because you can have a bear, you can have, you know, there's so many different things we could have went with, but this just has a good sentimental touch to my heart. But then also it just shows like, yo, if you know, you know, and it's gonna stand out within that. So I had to pick something a little creative within that and something that meant to me. And I want to get this in gas stations and different smoke shops and just everywhere, because CBD is gonna get in the door a lot more doors than THC is gonna get into too. So I look at that as well within that, you know. That's basically how it is though.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I know I had a guest on recently that she works at a cannabis club, and she was talking about how high the prices are, you know what I mean? And she took a little course over at Oaksterdam, I think it is, the weed college over in Oakland. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a dope college where they teach about all this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And I think that's a good thing too. I don't know if you'd like to look into stuff like that. And I have a couple weed enthusiasts that are in here right now, I think, or were in here earlier. But yeah, man, I think this is cool, man. The CBD side of it is really awesome because, like you said, it's a medicinal. We need to get away from the stigma of like, this is gonna get you high, this is gonna get you loaded, you're gonna act all crazy. You know what I mean? You're gonna act all wild. Yeah. You're talking wild and stuff. But yeah, I think we need to educate more on these things and realize it's a medicinal side. There's a medicinal side, and it can be utilized for this pain. Like you said, you had elders coming to you and saying, yo, my pain is gone. I'm feeling good. I'm making fry bread. I'm slapping that dough. You know what I mean? Whatever.
You know it. Exactly. And that's what I love.
Yeah.
That's why I do what I do, is because I love being able to bring that joy and that happiness in everything that it is. I've had this kombucha right here. Like I said, I'm a part of this company right here. And I've had so many people be like, yo, this helps out my digestive system. Because that's specifically those live probiotics. That's what that penetrates really good. So I've had people tell me, yo, this kombucha really helps out, man. Like, I need to continue getting more of it. And some people, they'll tell me, oh, it's not for me. You know, it tastes a little funky or whatever. Well, I think ours stands out from every other kombucha brand. I'm not trying to be biased or whatever, but I feel like the formula that we have and we've created, it stands out from others. It's not as vinegary. It's not super strong like that. Unless you get the blood orange ginger. And if you're not a big ginger head like that, then yeah, you might think it's a little bitter tasting, but that's designated for that area of audience. So we got the peachy, we got the cherry, we got a boysenberry, and then that blood orange ginger. And for the most part, this peachy one, everyone's loving it. The black cherry, everyone's loving it. And it gives that good digestive health, that gut health, be able to process things, man. And as we get older, sometimes we need to talk about this, you know, like, yo, I've been having issues when I go to the bathroom. Well, it's like, hey, bro, look, this is what you need, you know. And so certain things like that, whatever area that is I'm going to go to, it's going to be able to help people out, you know, and that's what I love, you know.
You grew up eating hot Cheetos and salami.
For reals, bro. For reals. And I went vegan for like 6 months. I fell off a little bit, I'm going to be honest, but I'm about to get back to the grind, bro. It's good. But so I went vegan for like 6 months, and man, that was like the biggest challenge because we're so just hip to, like you said, them salami and Cheetos, bro, and Franco American bread. Like, man, I love it all, bro. So it's like, for me, I mean, Kamad bod all the way, bro. Like, I grew up on Kamads, but it's like, you know, we also have to just look at it from the perspective as like, you know what, like, even the government, they know what's in that food. all day, every day. And it's not life. It really ain't, especially when it's in a can like that. And so I try to think outside the box in all areas of my life, and that even went down to the things that I put in my body. So now this kombucha, I try to drink it every other day at least. And like I had mentioned in the beginning, that sea moss, I like that sea moss. They have a gummy too that makes it easier to eat. And I think a lot of those type of things that needs to be brought up as well. Within our communities, you see a lot of diabetes, a lot of everything, within our bodies and our communities. And I think sometimes we could be too stubborn. I'll speak for myself. I won't say the older people, but a lot of people, and myself included, could be stubborn within the things that we put in our body. Like, we want to feel good in every sense of the way. We want to feel good from when we eat to when we're chilling, all that. So we're so accustomed to fried chicken and, even the fry bread, like as much grease that it is, like that should be the occasional, but within it all, we just have to evaluate. And like I said in the beginning, we got to get better each and every single day. Every year, don't be the same person you was last year. It's all about progression.
Absolutely. And we got to educate ourselves on health. That's huge because, like you said, diabetes is huge in our communities. So you were talking about you were walking around and say you're in the club or whatever, you got your shirt on. And I'm going to start talking about native mascots. And when somebody notices that, you would feel good if they came up to you and noticed that. But how do you feel if you out in the world and you saw a Washington football team, they recently changed their name from the Redskins? How would you feel if you saw that out in the world?
So I think it goes back to like culture appreciation. And so within the wrong individuals trying to capitalize off native people, it's been something they've been doing for years and generations. Personally, I don't feel like it's acceptable, and I don't feel like it's promoting us in the right way, because these same people that would create these companies and different things, they don't give a fuck about us.
Yeah.
They really don't, and they just want to make a dollar off us. They want to make a dollar off our name, our heritage, our culture, all of that. And so now I'm not for it. But if it's a young native coming up, whether it's me, whether it's you or another native off the res, like if they got their brand and it has our imagery on it, like, and we know that they're native, right? That's a good feeling. It really is, because I see that creativity I see the cycle being broken, right? They're not hooked on something. They're hooked on success right now. They're trying to make themselves out, right? They're trying to get out the box. So I see that, and I appreciate that. But when it comes to people like of other ethnicities trying to promote that and not promote it, but actually just make a dollar off it, man, that's not what I stand for. So I don't like that at all whatsoever. But I've even had people come to me and be like, "Yo, why'd you use the flicker?" And so I've had that too, but it's like, I go back to, yo, this is my roots. I'm from the res. I've danced before as a youngin'. I feel like I'm entitled. I have the right to use my regalia, because it's like, this is who I am as a person. But if I was some Masan trying to do that because it looks beautiful, it looks pretty, like, nah, bro, that ain't gonna fly. That ain't who you are, So I think it just has to go back to that. We got, who are you as a person, and represent that to the fullest. Now if you support it, like if you say someone that's of that culture, they go and they support our culture, that's appreciation right there. But if you're going to create a whole new line, like, nah, bro, that ain't gonna fly.
Yeah, absolutely. I respect that. You know what I mean? I really like that. And yeah, like you said, you dance, you put in the time, you're from the res, this is your culture. You have the right to put it on a shirt. You have the right to display it to the world and share it with people that aren't from your culture. Like, how do you feel about people not from the res buying one of your shirts and wearing it? Or like you said, Masan, which as a white person, if you're not native.
Yeah. Hey, I don't be like to say that word out too loud. Hey. But no, so like it's all in the intention that you do things. And so I think if a white person from Florida sees and he's like, you know what, I want to help and support in any way. And when it comes to the shirts that we're going to do for proceeds and donations, I would love to see that. I would love to see people come together from all races and ethnicities to come and support that, because this is something that needs to be brought to attention. The awareness definitely needs to be on the table a lot more. And so I would hope more people, not just natives, because as natives, we're needing the assistance right now. We need the backup, and we don't really get it from too much in the community, you know, from the sheriff's department, from everybody, you know, within the community. We're on the res, so we're already isolated into a whole new area. It's almost like a whole new town. When you go to the res and then you go into town, it's like that's two different towns almost.
Yeah.
And they treat us like that, you know. So within that, I would love to see people come together. And then if it's just for something of mine, like not in that area, like, I mean, I would love to see it. I don't know how I feel about people wearing like abalone necklaces and stuff like that, you know. So it's just, it's a thin line, you know. Yeah. It's in the intentions that you do it, in the heart and where your heart is at. Because if it's just to mock, you know, like say, well, if we'll shift a little bit. When you see people wearing costumes, you know, white people wearing native costumes, that, you know, it's the same thing almost, like within the companies, you know, they're trying to mock our people, make $1 off our people. And it's not uplifting our people in any way. It's actually putting us down a lot more. And so,
yeah. And when they sell like those fake headdresses or whatever, you know what I mean? It's in most tribes, if you're going to wear that, isn't it like it's a chief or like someone very prominent in that community. So it's
in ceremony for the most part.
Yeah, exactly. And not just anyone can wear those.
Yeah, no, for real. So it's kind of the same thing. I would say it's a little bit of the same thing when you see like Washington Redskins and they got that, and you know, it's kind of like the same thing, because who owns that company? Let's go back to that. You know, you do your homework and you do see who owns these companies that are promoting this imagery. And if they're not from the res and they promoting stuff from the res, something's got to change.
Absolutely, man. And I got I know. I thought I had a different shirt on.
Hey, Boys in the Hood, it's good. Yeah,
it's I thought I had my not a mascot shirt, and I think that's a good representation, because it's a wrong representation of who we are. It's a
I mean, you don't see a white person like costume, bro. It's like,
yeah. It's a cartoonish drawing. It's an outlandish of a looking person. You know, it's not a good representation of who we are.
Most definitely.
So I kind of want to shift into this line 3, and you're talking about unity, and out there I'm seeing a lot of non-indigenous people kind of go out there and stand for Mother Earth's life and connect themselves to the machinery and everything, you know what I mean? So kind of wanted to get your input on these big companies coming in through these lands and destroying it. So do you know anything about line 3 or anything like that?
I know about the pipelines, but I don't know about all the individual ones that are taking place within that. But to top on that, you know, I go back to, you know what, they're still taking from us. They're taking our resources. They're taking all of our stuff that we have, which, you know, could be even native burial grounds, you know, could be traditional grounds. Like there's so many different areas, and they're continually trying to just take from us, you know. So no matter what, like, and then also, like, these pipelines aren't, like, they're bound to break at some point. You know, they're bound to have some issues, and who's going to suffer the consequences? I know that these people that are running these plants or own these plants, they don't live right next door. They're living in different states. And if they're in the state, they're all the way up on the hill to where they're living good, you know. And it's almost like building a nuclear plant on the res. It's like, what? Like, what? You're trying to kill us, you know? And so it's another way to take and not give us anything in return, you know?
So it's a pipeline that goes from Alberta, Canada, all the way to Minnesota. And it's a 337-mile pipeline. And it doesn't go through any reservations, but it does go through treaty land from 1950 that grants the Ojibwe tribe the right to hunt, fish, and gather wild rice. What you're saying is a sacred rice that they gather and eat. So this land is definitely treaty land that they're going through. And like you said, it has broken. So the pipeline that they're trying to put in now, they're trying to replace it from 1960. So this, like you said, it's already broken. It's already destroying lands, and it's going through. It goes through the Mississippi River twice, and the waterways provide water to 20 million people. So this is not all. It's destroying. It's destroying everyone's drinking water. It's destroying what people are eating. It's like in every sense, it's destroying the earth. So like
it just goes to show, it goes to show that they're always going to put profits over people, regardless. You know, if they can make $1, you know, potentially, if you can make $1 million and you might only hurt 1,000 people or a couple thousand people, like it's going to be a win for them regardless. You know, and that we need to change that around. Like we need to value that one life. You know, that one life is worth not doing it. You know, at the end of the day, like evaluate the whole thing, and it's, you know, who owns these companies? You know, we see the bigger picture. We see what they're trying to do. And
real quick, I know you got to get out of here by 6:30. And I just wanted to touch on this craziness that's going on in Texas with this abortion laws. And our women.
Man, I've been seeing it, bro. I didn't do too much research, but what I'm gonna say is our queen's bodies is our queen's bodies. That's not our choice or decision, man. And I got my beliefs within Christianity too. You know, Creator, Jesus. You know, I got my beliefs. And so I acknowledge a lot of stuff within the Bible. But at the end of the day, bro, that's our queen's bodies. That's not up to us. That's not our decision. You know, and I think that there's a lot of Christians that what they're doing, God wouldn't even approve of, you know? So there's a lot of misrepresentation within these communities. And I feel like they're trying to not only trying to control people's bodies, but they're trying to control people's lives all around, you know? So within that, it's like another, hey, you shouldn't be doing this. It's like, well, let's examine your life. What are you doing? Because you stealing, a sin is a sin regardless. There's no sin higher than another sin. So it's like you stealing or you lying or you whatever is just as bad, quote unquote, as what you would call somebody have an abortion. You know, so it's like at the end of the day, like we can't, you know, a sin's a sin regardless, and we all have them every single day, you know. So yeah, that's they bodies. I can't tell them what to do.
Yeah,
you know. And I just to touch on this real quick too a little bit. I had made a joke one time about, because I just had a baby, right? And I was joking with my lady. I was like, "No, you're having a natural birth. Like, nah, you're not taking any meds, giving my baby, you know, medication." But I was joking, right? And I realized how it had affected her a little bit. And I was like, you know what? I apologize. I had to step back because I'm like, you know what? I'm not going through this procedure. You know, this isn't my body, so I can't tell you what and how to do this. You know, I just pray that our baby's gonna be safe and she's gonna arrive when she's supposed to, you know, and in a healthy manner. But like I had to step back, just even as a joke, like saying that, you know, wanting to, you know, I always got my little humor or whatever. I had to step back and be like, whoa, I'm just playing because this is your body. You know, I have no right to dictate how you're going to be able to perform this birth. You know, so I had to apologize within that sense because, you know, I really stand behind that. I mean that, you know, like I do with my body what I'm able to do with my body, and I can't tell nobody else, even another man. Like I can't even tell another man. I could recommend things. I could suggest things. I could suggest good health, but I can't tell you, bro, you need this. You know, like who are we supposed to tell anybody, whether it's abortion or anything, a belief, a routine, anything? Who are we to tell anybody that they can't do something or what they should be doing? Nah, we need to be doing that to ourselves. Criticize yourself, judge yourself, and get better.
Hell yeah, man. That's what it's all about. Exactly. We need to preach this, man. We need to preach it's their body. We don't have anything to say about what they do with it. And the people that pass this bill is all old white men. We need to start getting them out of there.
And it's weird. In Texas, you could like legally rape somebody and like under certain laws, like you won't get in trouble. Like it's weird over there, bro. Like I'm gonna be honest, a lot of that stuff is just like what? I be reading some of this stuff. I'm like, they did not just pass this. What the hell? But I also try not. So this is my thing. I try not to get too political, but I also realize that at some point we kind of have to. Because if we don't, if we say, you know what, we're not going to get political, well, then you're never going to see Native Americans in the White House. You're never going to see Native Americans in that area to where they will hear our voice. And so it's like at some point we kind of have to. And I was telling my cousin, I was like, yeah, I try not to get too political, even in Native politics, because sometimes it just gets messy, bro. Like, you know, we feel like they should be running things a little bit better or doing something differently. And it's like, well, you know what? Hold the judgment and criticism and just do better when you go, when you run. Make those changes that you wish they would have done. You make those changes. So within that, like, I try not to get too political, but I also know that at some point I got to, like, I have to, because there's things that our people our voices need to be heard. In some rooms, like, they don't ever want to listen to us, so they'll never give us a chance. So that's where we got to fight to the top every single day. Every single day we should be learning something new that's going to help our people out, whether it's our food, our finances, our spiritual walk. There's so many different avenues we could be progressing in. And so, like, at the end of the day, we got to soak up more knowledge so that we can help our people out. You know, sometimes that means getting a little political, because it's like, if they come in and pass a bill like, hey, they gonna kill all natives, man, at some point they tried to do that. They really tried to do that. It's like, you know, who's going to sit there and be like, yo, what? Of course we could rebel and we could fight back all we want, but we don't have a real big voice in those type of areas. It's really not going to hit like it should, you know? So I think we need a lot more Native activists, a lot more Native politicians, Native everything, bro. You know, straight up.
Natives on top.
Natives on top, bro, in every aspect of life. And I think sometimes, like, I'm going to speak to our Native communities. I think sometimes we settle for less. We settle for what we've been handed and what we've been given, when it's like, yo, we cutthroat. Let's take what's ours, bro. Like, forget settling for this little, you know, just this little house on the res. Like, nah, go own 5, 10 houses in some suburbs. Straight up, bro. Reason why we can't have these type of resources, because they're all at our hands. We're here on this phone. We can learn anything we want. We just have to apply ourselves. And I feel like as Native people, sometimes we don't, you know, whether it's self-esteem issues or battling with certain things that we went through in our childhood, we have to try to rise above that. And even if that means going to therapy, like, I support therapy. There's so many different avenues of therapy. There's not just sitting in front of a white person, letting them hear about your problems and talk about your problems. Like, no, there's so many different levels of therapy. Let's not knock that, you know? So it's like, every single thing that we could be doing, we need to try to progress, you know, in all areas. That means not settling. That means going for what's ours and really just achieving great success. Because when we do that, the people around us are going to be able to do that. The people around us are going to be able to have the knowledge on how they could do that for their families. And then it just trickles down. Just like the curses and generational curses and stuff that our people have went through. Well, now we'll create generational success that will then trickle down. Just as much as this bad stuff down, like alcohol, drug abuse, domestic violence, all that could get passed down. We could pass down keys, deeds, and LLCs. It starts with us, you know? And so within that, like, I'm talking to my Native people now. We got to rise up. Natives on top. That's not just something cool to say. Like, I really live this. I really want my people to succeed. Therefore, I sacrifice and I learned stuff that I would have never been interested into. You know, I read a tax-free wealth book. It's like, what? That sounds boring. But no, it was actually pretty interesting and pretty cool. And to the point where it's like, yo, a lot of this stuff we could be doing, and we could be changing the narrative on how people look at us as Native people. We're not all alcoholics. We're not all failures. Nah, man, we've came through so much. And God didn't just bring us this far to bring us this far. We still got so many mountains to climb, bro. And so it's like, yo, we definitely need to bring these conversations up more. We need to have this more, to the point where it's like, people are almost getting fed up. They're seeing so many Native people succeed. They're like, all right, you know. I see that within the minority community. I love seeing a lot of Black-owned businesses thrive and do humongous things. I love seeing that. But what I would love to see more is our Native people following that same algorithm. Just like these Masons and these African Americans are able to do that within theirs. Like, hey, we're doing this on the res too. Yeah. And people of color all around, we come together, man. You know, we started within our communities and we grow to bigger things in life, man. There's no telling what we could achieve. Straight up. So within that, hey, I appreciate you, man, being able to reach out to me and have this. I'd love to do this again, bro. We definitely
Absolutely.
got to. I don't know. I think it's 4 people we can have in this chat, bro. We should be having some. We should get a couple more people in here and let's have some good conversations because it starts with us bringing this stuff up. You know, it starts with these issues that we have. How can we solve these issues? How can we get past this? How can we progress? We hit a ceiling where we can't go farther. Well, how can we go through that? You know, so it's like these conversations, all of them, they need to be brought up more. And like I said, I appreciate you, bro. This is just my journey. This is my, you know, what I'm on right now. And I'm really trying to take it to the top for all my people so we could all succeed.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm about, man. And this is my whole intention of this platform is getting you and getting your voice amplified and hopefully people hear it and people get inspired and people want to respect and your culture and respect who you are and respect who you've come from. And that's your people and that's your ancestors.
Oh.
And you got to remember you're on native land too. So
better recognize.
So everybody, please respect the land that you're on and the people that have come from there. And remember, you're a visitor there, so respect that land.
Oh,
yeah.
All my relations. To my brother Juan.
If you got anything else, that's all I have for you. So, yeah.
I just want to say thank you to everyone that had showed up to be able to listen to us speak our heart. If anything resonated with you, man, definitely soak that up and take that to somebody else. Each one teach one. Each one reach one. It starts with us and what we're able to do within our communities. If you know a skill, develop a skill or something that you feel like someone else can benefit off of, man, help the next man out. Because that's going to then continue for us to build this ladder up to success. You know, and next thing you know, we don't got just one millionaire in our community. We got a whole bunch, man. Straight up. And it's not even just for the money. Like, I talk about this money thing because I've been broke my whole life. I'm done being broke. Like, I for real am, man. Like, I straight up, that's why I put a lot of my money in crypto as the dollar be going down. They done print so much money. I'm like, yo, we got to get up out this dollar, man. What we going to do? So it's like, I talk about, like, you know, being rich because I don't want to just be rich materialistically, you know, and all of that. But I know that with that money, there's so much things that I could help change and help be able to contribute to with that money. We all need money every single day. Of course, we don't slave to that money. But once we're able to have that money, man, the lives we could change. So that's why I talk about being a millionaire and different things like that, because I think it's possible, bro. Like, I really feel like it's possible if that's something that you want to go towards. And that's something that I strive for, man, being able to have that money to be able to do different things. And yo, we want to build a gym on our res. Let's do it. You know, it's like to be able to do that at a snap of a finger, man. Like, shoot, I'm doing it for my folks.
Yep.
Straight like that, man. So I appreciate you, my brother. We'll have to definitely have these conversations again. Blessings. I like the backdrop that you got going on in the back too.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. Thank you for joining me, man.
Hell yeah, bro. Well, shoot, I'm gonna keep in touch, family, and let's get a collaboration going. I don't know if you can draw artistically or whatever it is. Like, let's do this.
Let's do it. I'm gonna get a shirt from you too.
Hell yeah, most definitely, family. Well, shoot, thank you for having me on your platform. Blessings, and continue doing the good work, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Most def. All right, bro. Take care.
All right. Peace. All right. Thank you, everybody that joined us today for our conversation. Please go follow Indigenous Infusions for his CBD oils that he's putting out and his journey of everything he's doing. Natives on top. So, yeah, he's got a bunch going on. So, yeah, thank you for joining me on Burn the Wagon today. Yeah, peace, love, and happiness, and you're on native land.